And we're back. So, do we want to do a small recap of last session, or has it already been taken care of?
I think we're pretty good.
I think we already did.
We killed everybody. That some angel something or other took the hammer back.
I killed an innocent person by accident, and now Kira's gonna fucking neck rope herself.
Kira bumped. So Tom, if you look at this place below us,
somewhere you just pinged a blue.
Yeah. So these were all these like wooden-esque type not wooden, stone-esque type statues, and we were fighting a bunch of people amongst them, and one of the bad guys pushed one over, and then Hira charged through and pushed another one over, and then after we killed the final bad dude, they all turned back to life. They were like frozen in stone.
Oh.
And the two people that got pushed over, one by Kaylee, the murderer, was just chunks of people.
Oh.
And obviously a couple people were looking for the other people, and they're just pieces of flesh on the ground.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So that's
Kira's like sobbing over the body, and she like knelt and asked for guidance from her god, and they were silent.
Oh no.
Her god has forsaken her, even though she just got his hammer back. Like, thanks.
You never know. You may get an answer soon.
She was blinded by her, religious fanaticism. She's been hyper focused on that hammer since.
Yeah. So we got the hammer back, which was a thing for Tyr, and this angel appeared, took it, and then just disappeared. Didn't say a word. Just was pissed, or seemed pissed. Like, why didn't you say anything? Type of thing. Something didn't add up, right?
So
that's kind of where we're at.
We're still in the remaining room, following this combat.
Yeah, there was nothing else. Oop, where did everyone go?
Did I just go blind?
Did you drag us somewhere?
No.
Well, you didn't drag me, but
you forgot me.
I'm in that room by myself. No.
Torn's right there. Wub's right there.
Oh no, it's all grayed out now.
Yeah, it's all grayed out. I lost my vision.
Oh shit.
Maybe the door. You shut the door.
Better?
Nope, still don't have it. Nope, it's all gray.
Fuck.
Like it's like fog of war type gray.
Yeah.
Did you reset the the darkness? No. Strange.
Door's closed again.
Better?
Oh god, all the doors are closed. I'm
No.
trapped. Is this forever?
It didn't fix itself?
No. Should I maybe restart?
Budruckers.
Refresh the page.
I
was in the room lit with Wubba and Torin.
Yeah, so was I.
Oop, there we go. Oop, no.
Oh, now I see.
Now I see everything.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Everything.
That's fine.
Okay. This is what it looks like to be a DM.
That's
Dear
awful.
Lord.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit.
There's so much.
Oh, look at that big guy down in the corner. And then the stairs into nowhere. Fuck.
So,
The bone room.
that's what it's called.
There's a whole room filled with statues. You want to go kill some of them too?
Oof.
Here.
Big oof.
Well, you can DM it, but are those all live people now?
Yeah, and they're running out.
Okay.
They already ran out. Uh,
How about the bad guy who was in there with them? Did they fuck him up? They overpower him?
Just
so
imagine you're posting.
who
with
you
a
mean
bunch of
this
stone
this
statues,
guy
you're
right
like,
here?
This is stupid. They all turn into life and they beat you up. Yeah, that guy.
He, as you guys are walking through, you notice that he is completely inert.
Interesting. All right, so everyone left. The old guy, part of the delegation, he's gone out of the dungeon and stuff as well.
Yes. As far as you guys know.
Let's hope
Well-
he didn't get himself recaptured.
If you say that, then we're gonna have to search through the whole place again.
Or you could just leave. Because, I mean, walking through is essentially going through the whole place again.
Okay,
Something tells
so-
me he wouldn't just stick around.
I'm gonna assume that we're gonna do like a summary as we walk through. We don't see anybody else, and we get to the top. At least
So,
the first.
as you walk through the back or returning through the dungeon, any of the remaining cultists that remain just lay down their arms and kind of shrug away, not really attempting to stop you from leaving. So you're able to make your way back out of the Sacred Stone Monastery. And so just for this,
Torin gets a big old breath of fresh air. Yeah, it's the first time I've been up top in like a week.
We were right here, right?
mm-hmm.
What time is it?
Midday.
Did we find Fofo passed out somewhere?
No.
He disappeared. This is awkward. I have a ton of ale in my in my chest. Well,
Well.
I guess we'll be able to sell it. All right, so what are we doing?
Talk with your party. Figure that out. You've got a couple things that you can do.
We're headed back to Summit Hall
Summit
to
Hall,
deliver
yeah.
the dead body that has the relic.
Oh God, it's still in my chest too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I am stuck with you guys. I need to make up some money that I lost on that last venture.
Well, you're welcome to join us, Torin. We're going to be heading back to Summit Hall.
Excellent.
So it takes you about, with it being midday and you walking, it takes you about 5-ish hours at a base pace. About 2 hours in of walking towards Summit Hall, I'd like all of Torin, Hira, and Adram to make me perception, please.
Sniffle.
Fuck.
Nice.
Oh, wow. I was worried about my 0 modifier.
0 modifier gets the exact 20. Natty 20. My man.
So, here on Adram, as you guys are starting to kind of descend through the hills, you get the smell of soot, fire, filling your nostrils. It's kind of a thin smoke at the moment. Where Taran, you're able to get a distinct this is obviously a burn or something burning or it's fire, but anyway, you're also able to kind of see in the distance a large building or structure completely ablaze.
Yikes.
Shit.
I'm not sure if that's Summit Hall per se, but something that direction is on fire.
I'm gonna start running.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I'm gonna look at here like that classic movie thing where we both look at each other.
And we go,
And we just
"Ah!"
book it as well as we can.
I hate running.
You don't have to, but Tears panics, because if that's Summit Hall, that's Tears fucking worshippers.
So, running at a fast pace, you're able to close the last little bit of distance fairly quickly, and the two of you are now able to see Summit Hall ablaze.
Crap. Does it appear like anybody's out and about, like trying to put the fire out, or is it just like decimated?
There's no one seemingly trying to put the fire out. However, the large stone walls that protected this cathedral or this monastery of sorts, they don't seem to be completely damaged, or they don't seem to be damaged. However, there is a large blaze coming from the center of it.
Like it's like a bonfire, it's billowing type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
My god. Fuck. How many water spells? I'm a fucking paladin. Do any of you guys have like create water?
I'm afraid not.
No.
I'm more in the business of setting things ablaze.
Is there a well? Is there a well?
So, at approaching the hall, no, there is no wells. You do remember one being within the gates. However, you guys are still a good 4 or 5 minute jog to get to the gates themselves.
Okay.
And with Adram and Hira, what's the armor rating that you're wearing? Heavy, light?
I'm wearing fucking plate.
So I'm going to
have-
need a strength save from you.
I have medium armor.
Or constitution, I'm sorry. And
I
if
have
you're
medium
medium,
armor?
constitution as well.
Well, good thing you didn't
Save?
take that strength
Mhm.
save.
It's the second 11 that I've rolled. I've rolled 2 dice and they've both been
Okay.
sevens.
So both of you, by the time you get to the gates, you're fairly winded, but you're not like out of shape. So it's kind of just like you're trying to catch your breath. And the three of you, once you get to the gates, you can see these large wooden gates that was closed to you before whenever you approached. They're kind of hanging ajar, and there is a symbol burning in the wood.
I'm guessing it's going to be the fire symbol.
Is it a
It
one?
is.
Yep. So we took out the earth cult, now we gotta go for the fire cult.
Well, we told them that there was a group of people that were amassed in that area, Scarlet Moon Hall. So they must have gone there.
Now, is Summit Hall a collection of buildings, or is it just one kind of large church?
So Summit Hall is one large monastery within very heavily fortified stone walls. And from your knowledge of the area, this is essentially a monastery for Tyr, where they do several extensive training for those of the faith following Tyr.
I see.
Can I get through the gates and look for the well and start putting out the fire?
First, I'd like to ask if there's any noise. Is it just fire?
It is just crackling embers.
Well, that's definitely concerning.
Can I get through the gates and start trying to put out the fire?
So you can get through the gates, yes. Once you get inside, you realize that any attempt to putting out the fire with just a well and a bucket would be absolutely futile.
It's basically
Oh,
a blaze.
shit.
Yeah. There's no way to get in the building, like it's engulfed in flames.
And you're actually having a little bit of trouble breathing within the walls right now. If you're
Alright,
standing outside of the walls, you're okay, but
I'm gonna come back outside. And I'm gonna like turn back, and Kira's gonna fall to her knees dramatically, looking absolutely distraught. It's really dramatic. She's crying.
Like platoon
just
type
one
of level
second.
of
I'll be right back.
dropping on the knees.
What do you mean?
Why?
just kind of like, not awestruck, but like horror struck. And just knowing that there's nothing she can do.
I hope she realizes it's probably because Tyr just burned everyone to the ground.
I was not here.
The person you said killed one of my people. Now I will kill you all.
Drum, how populated was this monastery?
It had at least 20, 30, 40 people. We didn't see everybody because we just kind of stopped in real quick, but they had a good,
Pretty decent amount.
yeah,
Why is no one screaming?
that's the problem.
Yeah.
They're probably all fucking dead. Well, Kira's not saying this. Kaylee's saying this. They're all fucking dead.
Well, we'd have to ask Keegith, but I'm assuming there's no signs of a scuffle. It looks like the door got, busted in, but I'm thinking if it's the fire people, they could just utter a word and drop 5, 6 fireballs inside the walls. The walls do nothing against fire. And that just basically made an incinerator and everyone died inside. That's what I'm thinking.
So is this just a random attack, or? Is it...
I believe, and I don't remember exactly, but I believe when we were leaving Summit Hall, we mentioned that we ran into a bunch of fire-looking people. We asked if there's people supposed to be over near there, and they said no. And we told them that we saw, 30, 40 people with bonfires, and they were celebrating and all this other stuff. And I believe they said that thank you, and we'll check it out.
I don't know. In the time we were gone, I don't think they could have gotten there and back. I think.
We've
You
been
know that
gone for
you-
maybe a couple days.
yeah, about 2 days.
Oh.
Interesting.
So they could have sent out a scouting party, and they could have been followed back, or they could have just marched on anyways.
I think it could have been retaliation for us, or it could have been because they stuck their noses over there.
I don't think the fire people would have any idea what we were doing in that monastery, the Earth one.
I feel like they're all connected. Like if the cult infiltrated the believers, like I don't know.
Does it look like the door was kicked in, like it broken into, or does it look like what is the door? Does it look like someone broke in?
Anyone anyone interested in looking at this, make me an investigation, please.
I'm putting on my Sherlock Holmes hat.
Hira is no Sherlock Holmes.
Here is currently still crying.
Yeah, Hira's in no state to really think clearly. Like
Me
she just found an entire monastery of Tyr's followers. Everybody fucking probably.
Me and
dead.
Torin are both Sherlock Holmes, pointing at all these different clues at the same time, talking to each
So,
in sync.
um,
Yes. Yeah.
a drum,
See that?
you're able to, or you approach the door, and you notice that there has been a massive explosion set off, that broke the front doors off of the hinges, and left it hanging ajar. Torin, if you're looking at or around the same area, you're able to notice that this was, magical spells. This was not one. This seems to be man-made, or a man-made explosion. However, as you kind of peer through the gates, both Adram and Torin, you're able to notice that, like Hira saw, the entire structure within the walls is ablaze, and there are several burning corpses strewn about the area from what you can see. And once again, Torin and Adram, you're both able to notice a series of runes leading towards the structure. Torin, you know that these are, as best as you can guess, spells.
Rune spells inscribed on the ground.
See.
Do you know anything about runes? I know you're a magic wielder.
Well, let me make an Arcana check. Is that okay?
Yes.
Excellent.
Nice.
So, you don't have much experience with inscribing runes to make things go boom, but you know it can definitely be done.
Do they look
Drum,
like
I
something
wouldn't step on that.
dark-ish? Like, would I know it through Arcana, like through my
If you
scary past?
want to make an Arcana check, you can. However, I would say that with your knowledge of these specific runes, you don't get much else other than what Torin has told you.
Got it. And
Don't step on them.
I'll mention that I don't recognize them in all the magic dealings I've come across. So it'd be best to take Torin's advice. Although I'm talking to Torin because Hira's still crying.
Well, this was deliberate, and we did see a symbol on the gate door, right?
Yes.
Yes, and that's the symbol that matches this. And I'll pull out the inscribed little paper that we have that shows the symbol of the Elder Elemental Eye or whatever it was. Have you seen any of these other symbols, Torin?
I instinctively look at Kyle.
Hello. So,
I know for sure I would recognize the Earth one.
Yeah.
yes, and so with him displaying this, and it's like, oh, they weren't kidding. Over the 2 weeks that you've stayed with the cult, Torin would know that there have been other similar cults setting plans into motion.
That is not a good thing.
I'm
What
gonna
the fuck do they have against Tyr, though?
I'm gonna walk up to Hira, who's just still on her knees, sobbing, picking up dirt and crying into it.
What?
I'm gonna tell her that sometimes life will spring from chaos.
We can't
and,
say to everyone.
yeah.
She's
Renewal
gonna
and
stand up and start looking angry. She's gonna be like, "We have to find who did this."
is there
Fucking-
any clues or anything of people, like tracks, anyone leaving, coming, going?
From your previous investigation checks, you didn't see any tracks.
So just this thing imploded and there's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, you have
Well,
clues.
We have the symbol. The symbol.
Yeah, but the symbol, We have nothing
It's
that's
a fucking
leading
fire
where.
cult now.
Yeah,
you
but
have a
how's there
suspect, no motive.
We have a suspect of a whole group.
Yeah, but no motive.
How
So-
long could this fire possibly go on for?
Does
Well,
it look like it just started?
with
Mm,
your Arcana check, I'll say the best you can assume that this is a magical fire, and you get the feeling that it could either just put itself out depending on the level of its or level of the spell, or it could burn until there is nothing left.
I'm going to ritual cast Identify on the fire.
Okay.
Try to figure out. Let's see, what does that do?
So you spend 10 minutes to identify either an object or a spell.
Yep, and
And
what the spell is
so
affecting it, and what was it created? What created? And
Mhm.
which spell created it? Yeah.
And so just to, for the sake of brevity, is anybody doing anything during this 10 minutes, Torin or Hera, while Adrama's just walking around kind of like surveying?
Here's pacing around looking angry, fucking muttering about vengeance.
I'm just gonna keep looking around, seeing if I can find anything that's standoutish.
Wait, no, Here's gonna pray to Tyr and ask for guidance from Tadriel.
Okay. So Torin, looking around, there's very little evidence of any other or any persons here.
Just corpses that we saw through the gate.
Right. And you've heard of kind of magical devastation like this before. However, not of this magnitude. With Adram searching or identifying the area or identifying the fire, you after your 10 minutes, you're able to identify that this is definitely a magically created fire. And it was not created by any natural spell. Or spell that you've heard of before. Hera, in the 10 minutes of praying, or I'll assume that you just spend like 10 minutes while Adrama's doing his ritual. You don't hear anything from Tadriel.
How about Tyr?
One.
I was praying to both of them, kind of.
So, after not hearing anything from Tadriel, you kind of hone into Tyr. And you hear this weird, almost like incoherent, several trains of thought going on at one time. Like, almost like you're kind of peering into Tyr's subconscious, and you can't really make your figure out what he's saying. And after a few garbled words, it fades.
About to start panicking.
The only thing that you're able to discern from it is make it stop.
Here's about to have a panic attack.
So, party has kind of investigated the area. Do we want to share your findings?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna see here, like hyperventilating, and I'll kind of like crouch down with like my head against her head type of like, you need to focus on something other than what you're focusing on type of thing.
And I'm gonna be like, I can't hear from Tyr. He said make it stop. I don't know what's happening. I think he might be in trouble. Didn't hear from Tadriel. Something bad is happening. I can't reach them. I don't know what to do.
Calm down, calm down. You and I both know when you make harsh decisions or rash decisions, it ends up being a lot worse. Slow and steady. I'm gonna look up at Tor and I'll be like, did you find anything?
I'm afraid not. Nothing new anyway.
Yeah. All I could identify is that I don't know what this spell was, and that's what frightens me.
Well, you've had run-ins with people that use this symbol before, correct?
We have over in the Scarlet Moon Hall area.
I think the clearest thing to do would be to pay a visit.
I feel like we should. We should probably rest up first. I know that timing is fleeting here, but I'm a little hurt and I could use some mental rest.
I think we could all use that.
Yeah, I'm at like half health.
How about we camp just at the border of the forest here and see if anybody, while we're resting, see if anybody comes to the summit hall. Sometimes criminals come back to the scene of the crime. We might be able to get a clue from there while we're waiting.
Fair enough.
So that's what we'll do, Keegith.
So, camping on the road.
Like kind of like border. I don't know exactly what's surrounding Summit Hall, but kind of like just on the inside of like whatever forest is near there. So like we're not visible, but we can see out into the clearing.
Okay.
And since I don't know if we do a long rest or not because it's midday, you said.
After
Or it was midday and we traveled
after the
5 hours.
investigation, the sun is starting to go down, has started to set. All right. So
So we're long resting.
you will. However, as you guys begin making camp and setting up outside of Summit Hall, Tom, will you describe your character for me, please?
I'm a sort of middle-aged man, darker complexion, black hair with streaks of white throughout it. Speak with a sort of generic Russianish accent, but you can understand me well enough. I just look ragged. Like I'm wearing like dark chainmail, kind of rusty, natty looking, a cloak over it all. Just long beard, long hair. I have a great axe on my back and a great sword across my back as well. It's a big, beefy dude with big weapons on him.
So, Tom,
The road delivered. Is that too much detail?
no, that is absolutely fucking perfect. I love it.
Tell me you're gonna RP the Russian accent.
So,
No, I wish I could, but
Hello,
we
friends.
we can always give it shot. It's never enough vodka.
Yeah,
So-
you don't have to be embarrassed. You can give it a shot.
Trust me,
I
I'll
look
do-
bad. You should see what I ate last night.
Hey, if you want, if it makes you feel better, I'll bring out mayo.
It's mayo.
Not mayo.
All right, so, Boris, you have just left Red Larch, making basically a beeline for Summit Hall. You got to Red Larch looking essentially for just something to occupy your time, something to do, and Kalesa Urkel, the proprietor of the Swinging Sword Inn, where you stayed at for an evening, told you that there was going to be possibly a group of adventurers roaming about the Dasarian Valley, where you are. And if you were interested with some help in trying to get some, or in your any of your goals,
Something to do.
and then make your way to Summit Hall, because that was the last known location that this group was traveling to. So you stayed your night, had a nice meal, was well rested, and in the next morning made your way through off road of the Dasarian Valley, beelining straight to the location marked on the map by Kalesa. And about sundown, you're able to see in the distance a fortified structure with a blaze in the center of it. And a group of 3 setting up camp outside.
I'm assuming we're gonna notice him before he notices us.
You notice each other about the same time. You are able to hear a rather heavy suit of armor moving down off the beaten path
Hear us too, dude.
to you guys. And Boris, you notice that they're able to notice you, and they're still making camp.
They're still making camp. All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna cautiously approach.
I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah, here's standing. She has her hand on her weapon,
I'll just give a quick little wave.
eyeballing him. Torrid.
So you see this kind of scrawny-looking brunette wizard. If you'd like to describe yourself, Torin.
Oh, Torin's a kind of on the younger side, average build. Not really wearing much in the way of fancy clothing except for a fairly worn, buttoned-up overcoat. Other than that, like, the hair is just kind of swept back and brown. Charmingly handsome, if I do say so.
I'm
Roguish
gonna
almost.
give a giggle and a giggle and a wave. Man, someone waving so gently at a fireside like this. Hard not to laugh. The scene here, this
Hira looks
monastery is-
exactly like the picture I have. So
I don't look so much like the picture I have.
Well, if you would like to describe what Boris sees as he approaches, go ahead.
Oh, me?
Anyone, Hira and Adram, both of you are there.
I'm an ASMR, but that's just kind of meta. But I have like dark blondish hair. I'm slightly lightly tanned. I'm roughly like 29ish. I have green eyes, although you'll come to find out they change often. I'm about 6'3", and I seem like I am overly protective of the woman behind me, clad in more armor than I have.
well, I'm gonna push past you, and I'm gonna have my hand on my weapon. You know this. I'm a pretty tall, muscled woman with dark skin and gold dreads and glowing golden eyes. Nah, and a big old halberd.
It's a
And I
whole
look
lot
ready
of
to
staring
fuck you up if you make the wrong move.
I'll kind of call out to you. Hello.
Comrades.
What brings you to this area? And I'm gonna kind of
Boredom.
eye Torin like this is the person I was talking about. Maybe he's the one that set it up. Criminals always
Might
come
be
back.
think-
Criminals always come back. This is sus as fuck.
Boredom. Heard there might be some things to kill, monsters and such. Adventure. You know. Was told to come look for you guys.
By who?
We're-
The innkeeper, swinging sword lady.
I'm gonna,
Person?
I'm gonna look at here and I'm gonna kind of roll my eyes.
Gotta
Yes.
understand, it was a really rough night.
Do you
and
know
me.
anything about? And I'm gonna gesture towards the fire in the distance.
Just that I was told to come here looking for you.
Can I? Oh shit! Insight.
Perception? What are you doing?
Do I trust him? Do I trust what he's saying?
I mean, with your insight is always very sticky with against other players. He's another player, so yeah, you trust him.
Okay.
You know, it's quite amazing you've managed to gather such a large group with how overwhelmingly welcoming you are.
Torin, you don't
Hero,
realize
you
that
know-
we started this journey off with a few more people, but they seem to have fallen to the side, not because of death,
Hero
but
was
because
Hero would be a lot nicer if she hadn't just found a monastery of tear burned to the fucking ground
I believe
and
my
was
point
in a
has been
distressful
made.
state.
So, what would the group like? Or I'll just kind of, for the sake of brevity, the
Probably introduce myself.
go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, comrades. My name is Boris. Sometime Smith, Boris the Butcher. What would you prefer?
Boris the
So
Friendly?
you wish to join us on our quest?
Sure. What is your quest?
We've been investigating some cult activity in the area. Right now, I think we are going to go investigate a fire cult who just we believe burned down Summit Hall.
Are there skulls that need cleaving?
we
You
can't
could say
promise
that.
we can't promise fame or protection, but what we can promise is that there will be a lot of people that need some aggressive negotiations,
Can I bring death?
if you'd like to.
Kira
Oh, I'd
says.
like to.
Sierra looks him in the eyes and she says, "Absolutely." Kira's about to
Oh,
murder these
excellent.
As
Let's
as
go.
long
We
as
bring
as
death
long
and
as
vengeance.
as long as those weapons are pointed at our enemies and not some of us, I won't have to do any drastic things.
Tears screaming in the background. What are you doing?
Vengeance, dude. She's such a fucking. I don't know if you guys realize this, but she's a huge religious zealot. She's a fucking fanatic, and she doesn't know what's happening. The monastery of Tyr just got burned down. She can't hear from Tyr. All she heard was garbled and make it stop. She's panicking. She's out for blood.
That's kind of normal. At this
All right,
point.
so he showed up as we were setting up camp or
Yep.
taking down camp.
Setting up.
All right, so we're gonna invite him, Boris, if you'd like. We're going to set up camp for the night, and then we're gonna make our way to a place that had what we think the culprits of this massacre behind you. And I'll kind of like lean into him at a lot of skulls to crush.
I like. I pat you on the back.
So
Like a lot.
there is a good 8 hours long rest. You guys are able to converse for a little bit if you want. I'll just be right back one more time.
Kira's gonna introduce herself. She's gonna be like, "I'm Kira."
Oh, yeah.
What's your name?
Tira.
Hira? Hira.
I am a drum.
A drum? I don't even know what kind of person you are. A seer?
Me and Adram are both ASMR, so we're like angel people.
Oh,
We're like half angel. Yeah.
I'm
I am
definitely
your
looking.
bog standard human.
So am I, but of a different region. Wait,
That's
these
why
these two look totally different to me, and I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
trying to figure it out.
There's something unnatural about us. Like, I mean, my eyes are literally glowing gold, so you're probably
Yeah.
fucking staring at both of us like, what
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah, mine aren't necessarily glowing, but they're abnormally green. And you'll notice as we get into some fights that I have things that shoot out of my eyes.
Cyclops vision.
Yeah, so like
Interesting.
Cyclops, yeah, so like my stuff comes from my eyes.
Ooh, woo.
Ooh, woo.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, Boris is gonna be in for
I would say that my character is rather
can't
intense.
Wait
Boris has
for
rather
Boris.
intense eyes.
I can't wait for
and-
Boris to see some of the shit that Hera can do. I'm about to divine dynamo and he's gonna fucking shit himself.
as we're kind of talking, we're gonna explain kind of our backstory and a little bit. And that
Okay.
we have some abilities. Although Torin has, magical abilities like bringing down balls of fire to nuke a whole place, our stuff comes from different places, a higher plane, if you will.
I'm a paladin of Tyr.
I believe
And
the
Tyr.
correct way to
I don't know
phrase
how much
that
you know about
is-
D&D lore, but
I know
Tyr.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up,
You
Eric?
know Tyr?
I'll finish here and explain herself. Or
Sorry.
I'll
Do you
wait.
know Tyr, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a paladin of Tyr, which is why I'm all about the fucking vengeance right now.
Excellent.
What they mean to say is that they were gifted their ability.
Powers, yeah.
I was trained and worked for it.
I was blessed by Tyr himself with my abilities, okay? This is the
I
Tyr.
see.
Tyr put me
So-
on this path.
So my statement still stands.
I was chosen. I'm the chosen one, dude.
Not all powers are a blessing, and I'm gonna turn away and kind of skulk off like a angsty Peter Parker, minus the jazz dance.
No, plus the jazz dance. Well,
Maybe a
Don't
little
have the
jazz
dance
dancey.
on that.
so just for a little DM storytelling, as you guys are making camp and the sun starts to go down, all of you in the group are able to hear just a little bit of rustling in the Joker back there. This my furry bubby. But you're able to hear a little rustling out into the woods, into the tall grass, and kind of a grunt of an elk, and out of the tall grass, Wub just drags a deer into the camp, slices open or slices off its leg, and then walks back into the tall grass and leaves the rest of the deer for you guys.
How did
I-
you know where we were?
He was walking with us in the back, I guess, somewhere.
Oh my god. That's so funny. He fucking disappeared, comes back, the deer.
I'm
Not
ass-
even a word.
Yeah, he's
I'm
not here
assuming
tonight,
Boris-
so
Poor Boris. Poor Boris.
Put me to work.
So Wubba Lubba is a goblin ranger, so you just saw a goblin just drag a deer, take a leg, and walk off. Like
Oh, excellent.
and just drop it in
I-
front of you guys.
I'm gonna mention to Boris. I'll be like, he's a
He doesn't like us
compatriot of
very
ours. He kind of comes and goes sometimes.
Saved me the hunt.
Yeah. So
Should we- Should we
he's
clean some
he's a little
venison?
he's a little peculiar. Just watch your valuables. He
check
might,
your racism too. He's really sensitive about his goblinism.
Okay.
So
So we eat some elk.
We all bleed the same. You know what I mean?
mhm. So, yeah, Boris, taking initiative, you clean and get several pounds of great elk meat, for yourself and for your party, and you also have the elk hide, if you so wish.
You
And
are
bones.
Boris the Butcher.
And bones we can do things with.
Keep whatever you want. Use it.
Yeah. I'd like to hold on to a couple of those for some crafting.
Cool.
Truly, we pick up the oddest of compatriots.
They're good eating too.
He's picking his teeth with one of the bones. Okay, so fast forward, long rest. Are we gonna
Yep.
roll for stuff or
You get your
follow?
long rest. The night kind of
Okay.
goes, or the night goes very uneventful. Besides the consistent crackling of the fire beside you, it goes undisturbed, and you wake up at as early as you would wish, either at the crack of dawn or a little after the sun rises, whichever. And I'll be nice this one, or just remember next time that sleeping in your armor causes
fatigue.
fatigue. Yes. So
All armor or
all armor above light armor. So the only one that's
kind of just-
technically absolved from this is Torin.
Tauren?
Oh shit! I kind of just assumed that it was kind of like implied that we take off our armor to sleep.
See, for the
I have to explicitly say it.
yeah,
Well, the
so
problem
this
is
is what I
is-
was going to say. This is what I was going to say. So for the first little bit of this campaign, yes, it is implied because you guys are, I want you guys to have a good fun time. Now I'm getting into the nitty-gritty to where if you don't tell me you're going to sleep with your armor off, you're going to sleep with your armor on and you have
Okay.
fatigue. So for the first little bit, yeah, you're right. It was assumed. Now it's not.
And the reason why it's important to say is because if there's a random event and you have your armor off, you won't have time.
Then you have to
Mhm.
spend time to armor off.
Yeah, you won't have like an instant time to put it on.
Yes, exactly.
So like when we're
So
doing
I'm
like
guessing
patrols
there's
and
gonna
stuff.
be I guess there's gonna be a lot of events where we get ambushed.
No, well, when we're doing like stuff like this, the person that would be up, so say I'm up for the post, I would have my armor on.
Yeah.
But
Evening
everyone else
watch.
pretty much, yeah. Everyone else probably wouldn't. Or they
Right.
could, but then they could be fatigued.
Mhm.
We definitely should have had somebody on watch last night. We forgot to say that.
Well,
I'm
the
assuming
the night went uneventful, so no one really needed to be on watch. As far as you guys could tell from your uneventful evening, no one really wanted to come close to the burning monastery.
did it die down or is it still blazing?
It is still burning bright.
All right. So I'm gonna stir. I don't know what time it is, but I'll say dawn-ish.
About 6 a.m.
I'm gonna examine the look again, probably do another identify, walk around for 10 minutes, see if anything has changed, and it hasn't. So if anyone else is awake, I'm gonna say this. I believe that they left this as a beacon, a sign, and that does not bode well for us or this area.
Mm,
I think we should go investigate the Scarlet Moon Hall now.
Yeah, everyone rested.
rested and hopefully prepared.
All right.
As rested as ever.
Ready to crack some skulls, Boris?
Ready to take some skulls.
All right,
Okay.
so we're gonna set off towards the Scarlet Moon Hall, I guess. Oh, did Wubba leave us again?
For the sake of brevity, he is following you because I don't want to leave him out. But he's not in the game. You know what I mean?
Actively, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna have a
We're not gonna
DMPC.
we're not gonna play. Yeah, we're not gonna play him. But when he comes back, the next time he plays, he's with us. He's not
Yes.
out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he'll be.
He's been trailing along. He's been hunting elk.
He's the only time we ever see him is when he drags an elk into our camp or whatever.
So, I'm going to move you guys. It takes you till, if you leave right at the crack of dawn, it takes you till a good midday to trek the path that Boris took to get to you guys the day before. You're able to find the kind of lull in the river and cross over once again with very kind of, or with minimal effort. And it's about midday. The sun is kind of high above you, and the wind coming from behind the group of you starts to pick up significantly to a point where, you know, for the first 20 minutes that you guys are noticing it, you know, it's just kind of like a strong breeze, you know, almost like a light, or it starts as a light breeze and then eventually makes its way to, you know, every once in a while there's a gust that kind of, especially for someone like Hira or Boris, you know, with the heavy armor, it kind of pushes you just a little bit extra. And as you kind of make your way closer and you're able to see the Cairn Road approaching in the distance, leading back to Red Larch that you guys are so used to. The four of you are able to hear large wings flapping behind you, and the gusts of wind begin to shift in in the direction of Red Larch. So if you guys are moving specifically west, well, let me zoom out to make sure I have the right orientation. Yes, as you guys are moving west, as you guys are moving west, the strong gusts of wind start moving kind of northern towards Red Larch, and so you have the beating wings behind you, and these gusts of wind in front of you. And if you'd like, you can make a perception check, each of you.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh my lord!
Get another natty.
Here's never been
A
this
natty
perceptive in
one.
her life.
Can't win them all.
I thought I rolled a 1. It was a 7.
Oh,
That's why I said, "Oh dear lord."
So what was your roll, Boris?
a natural 1. Yikes.
So
Boris and Tori will get along just fine.
Both of you kind of, Boris and Torin, with your familiar accents with each other, are you know, attempting kind of learning each other a little bit, not too much. While Adram, he's more focused on the wings behind him, and as he turns, he can see 7 winged figures approaching from the south towards them, or towards your group.
They're coming directly
Kira.
at us.
They're coming at you, or from Adram's perspective, yes, they're coming at y'all, but it's kind of hard to tell whether or not they're coming at you. You know what I mean? With Hira's perception, you're more focused on Red Larch, and you see this large twister start to form within Red Larch, kind
It's a
of,
fucking air cult.
and it begins to make its way all the way up into the clouds above you, and spins in a clockwise motion very rapidly, and you see this twister start reaching towards the ground. Decisions.
I'm gonna yell out what I see, because I'm assuming as it's windy, it's kind of loud-ish.
It is a little loud, yeah. So
Kind of yell out, there's 7 people or 7 things approaching from behind. Obviously, like behind us.
Well, do they look aggressive?
They're flying straight towards us. I
Given
don't know
your
what.
track record, I think that would be aggressive.
Yeah. They could either be telling us something good or being ready to attack.
So
What did Hira see? Hira?
I see a freaking twister over at Red Larch.
Ah. The track record expands.
What?
Could it just be that there's some things going on, Torrin, and not that we're the ones causing it?
No.
No, it's all your fault.
Circulate around us.
That's because we're investigating the truth, my friend. I'm gonna call out. Let's move towards the people and intercept. If they're friendly, then we'll be good. If not, we'll have a better chance of fighting them than a tornado.
I agree. I don't like fighting tornadoes or the wind.
That sounds like a good idea. I hope nothing too horrible happens to Red Larch.
So,
Are you sure we shouldn't go check it out?
Red Larch? From this distance, we're what? If the map is accurate, we're still like a day away from Red Larch.
What if there are those
half a
wind
day
cultists there?
if
What
you
they
like
need
sprint.
what if they need our help?
We're going to run towards Red Larch out of sprint with you in heavy armor with these 7 creatures behind us. To do what to a tornado?
I'm not saying run.
It will take us a day to get there.
Half a day.
If we're running.
There are innocent people who could be getting hurt. What if the cultists are there?
What if we get killed from behind? Then no one gets done anything.
Well, what do you want to do about the birds? They're in the sky.
I don't think they're birds.
So, as you guys are in the middle of this conversation, the twister that Hira sees touches ground. And you can start, all of you are starting to be able to see bits of wood planking and small objects being lifted into the vortex. At the same time, Adram, as you're turning to kind of address the 7 creatures flying towards you, they are currently now hovering above you and descending.
Oh, well, fuck.
And as the 7 of them descend, you notice that there is only 2 with riders. The other 5 creatures have no one on them.
I'm going to call out to whoever the leader looks to be.
So he is draped in this very elegant silver and blue armor with a very heavy face mask that kind of just barely or only shows just the side or his eyes basically, with these large colorful almost like rainbow ish feathers on the top of his helmet, and the shoulder guards that he has kind of have the same feathers dangling on them. And you notice that all 7 of those creatures that these 2 are riding on have very similar feathers. And if you would like, all of you can make intelligence checks or nature checks, whichever one is better, to see if you can identify these creatures. So intelligence save is different than an intelligence
I'm sorry.
check.
Yeah, you're right.
However, I will, because the modifier is the same, I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is the modifier the same? I think an intelligence check is just raw intelligence.
If it's proficiency, then you'll have like an additional 3 bonus. So if you could just say that's a 23 instead of a 26.
Is that what it is? You have your proficiency on your intelligence save, Torin? Okay.
I would assume so since he's a wizard. I just made the assumption.
Unless he's +7 in his.
Dude, Boris is big brains over here. Look at him.
Did I roll?
Yeah, you rolled.
Oh,
but the first one's good.
I wasn't sure if it went through.
No, it went through. It'll be slightly delayed.
It was a natty 20.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
Boris is like, I know these people.
There we go.
I know that bird.
This is not first time I've seen feathers of this kind.
I just got the plugin you told me about. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it worked. Perfect.
So, here is nature, Torin's intelligence, Adron's intelligence, and definitely Boris's intelligence. You're all able to identify these creatures as some rare, seemingly rare breed of hippogriff. You've seen hippogriffs, or you've heard of hippogriffs before, but they've only had like solid colored feathers. These are, sparkly rainbow. Like if I had to show you, it's like my e-cig, like kind of rainbow.
Mayo would love them.
Oh yes, he would. He absolutely would. That's why they're here.
Oh my god, the leader is Mayo.
They're iridescent feathers.
Thank you. That's the word that I was looking for. Iridescent. Thank you. Fuck.
I got you. Love you, buddy.
Love you too. All right, so and the seeming leader of the group, the one dressed in the ornate feathers, dismounts and approaches the four of you. Oi! I've heard we got some adventurers coming around.
Yes. Who goes there?
I work for the Feather Grade, and typically we're just trying to see if we have any new talent.
What do you mean by talent?
Well, I am quite talented. How nice of you to know.
He's gonna kind of look over at Torin and like underneath his faceplate, you can kind of tell he's smirking just a little bit. From the rumors we've heard of you, sir, we can tell. Torin, is it?
Correct.
How do you know his name?
Oh, Miss Hero, we've heard so much about you.
From who?
You seem to be the talk of Red Larch and the lab. There's not many adventuring groups coming around.
I hate to cut this conversation close, but Red Larch is currently being attacked by a large tornado, which I'm assuming this guy can see in the distance.
He's gonna kind of look behind him and it's like, oh!
You wouldn't happen
You're right,
to,
it is.
You wouldn't happen to let us ride on the back of these magnificent beasts to Red Larch so we get there quicker, could you?
I'll make you a deal. If you ride it for one ride to Red Larch, you come with us to Feather Glade afterwards.
Consider it done.
He's
What's
gonna kind of
Feathergale?
he's gonna kind of look at the rest of you. Agreed?
What's Featherglade?
Feather Gale, my lass.
You said Featherglade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just a little slip of the tongue. I may have had a little bit too much ale before I left.
Yeah,
What's
seems fair enough
Feathergale
to me.
then?
You say that one
Well,
more time.
before I agree to this, I would like to know where exactly I'm agreeing
There are
to
innocent
go.
people dying. We need to get to Red Larch. I believe that was the conversation
There's
we
that
had.
sense of urgency, Hero.
We will discuss it on the way.
All right, I will mount up onto one of the burbs.
The perps.
So, assuming we're all in agreement, they're yours. Consider him
Okay.
loans.
One is.
And
I roll insight to test, see what this guy's intentions are.
go for it if you'd like.
It
Yeah.
would be insight, I think.
Yeah, if you want to.
I would also like to make an insight check.
Not necessarily.
I would like. I would.
Hero's
would
just
like.
always so insightful.
I would like the records to show meta-wise that you guys are like, we need to go to Red Larch. There's all these people dying. I'm like, we should talk to see who these people are. And you now her guys like, we should think this through.
I never claimed to be consistent.
I was just planning to go right along. I don't want to meet you guys.
No, it's I'm just saying.
So
Go the way. I'll ride the birds.
he's going to noticing some weird glances from Boris and Hira. He's going to remove his helmet so you can see his face, and he is rather elven. Pointy ears and a very fine, almost sculpted face. And he's going to give you a very serene and sympathetic, from your opinions, smile and bow. These birds are yours. And he will, at that point, he'll mount and then take off with his other compadre, leaving the other 5 with you.
Well, we don't know where Feathergrail Spire is, but I assume the birds do. Alright, let's go to Red Larch.
I'm assuming we know how to ride these things. It's kind of like a horse.
I was just thinking that. I'm like,
I don't really want to. That's why I was like, can they even hold me?
It is.
I'm wearing a bunch of plate, damn.
It is very much like riding a horse. However, as you get onto the back of these creatures, you notice that, especially like, I would assume Boris would have more experience with or Boris and Torin would have actually more experience riding horses than Tira or Hira and Adram. And the you've only noticed a very slim variety of horses that's been able to hold or carry you, Boris. And as you get onto this hippogriff, it seems sturdy.
If it seems sturdy, I'll ride it.
I never liked riding.
And as the 4 of you mount, and before some of you are able to get like a full grasp on their reins, there's a large flap of their wings, and they just take off and immediately are about 10 feet above the ground. And after a few strong flaps, you are now soaring about 80 feet above the ground with this strong wind behind your back.
I hate this.
I don't actually like this.
Hero's loving this.
It will be short. If it was a half a day running, it's probably going to be like 15 minutes flying.
So it is a very...
Last night's meet down.
It is a very, very quick ride.
I have a black screen.
I too have a black
Thank
screen.
goodness.
That's me.
I was like, oh
So-
God, we're too late. It's just an abyss.
Oh no.
All right. So,
Hi,
Oh,
Zudia.
sounds like nice.
I was down in the south of Zudia. Oh, there's trash.
I'm up here with the
And Wubba.
trash and Wubba.
okay, Zuya's off in the fucking woods, chilling. Trush is definitely in the inn, getting his face drunk off. And we have Torin.
Hey, that's me.
There you are.
Ooh, he's tiny.
Little tiny Torin.
I was never really good at transmutation magic.
Now that's a meta joke.
No, really, Torin was not good at transmutation,
Oh God, there's
Oh,
Boris.
Boris is huge.
Boris is angry.
as he should be.
I don't ride Griffin. Griffin rides me. I rip wings off and staple them to my back.
Ugh,
Oh no.
That seems rather dark.
flying Boris is horrifying.
I'm
So-
not falling.
The four of you are able to make your way into Red Larch from the Cairn Road. Oh no, Groovy died.
A while ago.
God damn it.
Are we still on the backs of the griffins or hippogriffs, whatever they were?
Yes, you are still on the backs of them. You are currently levitating ish, or not levitating, but you know what I mean.
Hovering.
Like hovering about 50 feet in or above the road in Red Larch, and you are a grand total of about 150 feet around right here is where the Twister is now ripping through Red Larch, heading through the long road.
Torn, do you have any spells that might be able to not stop it, but maybe redirect
One
it? I
second.
don't know.
Redirecting the primordial forces is difficult to say the least.
Basically, is there anything you can do to help?
I can do things. Helping is not the outcome that might happen. Tossing a fireball at it might incite a sort of funnily inferno casting.
Is someone
kind
causing
of-
this?
That's a good question.
If
Yeah,
someone's causing this, we can just go kill them.
I'm assuming it's
Go
probably going to be
for
the
it.
same. It's
Or
probably
if
going to be the same thing as like the fire in the town where it's started by someone, but
They have to be here somewhere, right?
they could have put runes in the ground. I think we should check the number 1 building, the prayer area.
Now that there is an idea.
Yeah.
Well, the only problem is that tornado is
yeah.
right there. Hmm.
So
You
if
know,
it
I
was-
wonder how
Did he
good
say?
they
Did he
are.
say it was right in
Boris?
the middle of town?
Boris, I would like to point out we cannot fight the tornado.
He said it was coming through at the very
we can't
least.
fight the tornado, but we can fight who's causing it.
Mhm.
If there is someone causing it. I oppose fighting the tornado itself, in fact.
I'm glad to hear that.
All right.
I fought the
Can I-
wind before, and it's always been a stalemate.
If I detect magic, can I detect like where it's coming from?
So there is a range of it.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Torin?
I was saying that Hero would have to get awfully close to a tornado to try and detect anything.
Yeah, because there's a range to it, ain't it?
30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's awfully close.
And from your basic knowledge of wind gales this strong, that if you got anywhere within 30 feet, you'd probably be defying gravity for a little while.
We'll make a human chain. It'll be perfect.
Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
I made me a tornado.
But no,
All you can
unfortunately,
hear-
I don't have any spells in my repertoire that can fight nature.
Is there anything that we can discern looking towards the bottom of the tornado or around it to see if there's people that are there casting things or conjuring it?
Perception.
Can we kind of fly not from back here, like kind of around it? Get a better look?
So, I would say as you try to kind of wheel the hippogriffs around
How
this
about a
wind
natty
gale,
20?
well, let me finish this. With you flying on the hippogriffs, they're kind of resistant to getting too close to the gale. They and you can tell as they get to kind of the peak of how they can handle it, their wings are, flapping very hard, very consistently. So you know that it's not a good idea to get much closer, other than probably we'll put you about here.
Where did you say the tornado was? Right in the middle?
Yep, it was moving toward or down Caldell Path, and then it made, or after it kind of hit the All Shrine, it kind of made a large lurch down the long road to the south.
Okay. So let's make a wide berth around it.
Are any of these buildings here standing?
From what you can see, there is shrapnel pulled off of most of the buildings. There's large chunks of the roofs missing. You can see kind of cracks in the from where the walls and the roofs meet, and they've kind of flapped up. With the perception from Torin and Adram, you two are able to notice a small sphere in the base, seemingly almost dragging across the ground of the twister. And you can make both of you can make an Arcana check. So, I'll say it this way. Adram, you know this is this is a magical twister. You know that this twister is stemming from this orb. And from the previous events of the Cult of the Black Earth, you get the idea that this could be something created. Torin, on the other hand, with your time with the Cult of the Black Earth, this seems very familiar. This seems almost like an orb of devastation. However, you've never seen one with the wind elemental. You've only seen one with the earth.
So
I will relay that information to the party. Like a wind flavored orb of destruction.
So Keegith, if I were to summon an unseen servant, can you go and pick that bad boy up? It's an invisible, mindless, shapeless medium force that performs simple tasks at my command. Does this thing do damage? He has an AC 10 with 1 hit point, so if he does damage, it's gonna die right away.
Yeah, that rules it out immediately. This does
Okay.
damage.
Okay. So worth a shot, guys. Worth a shot.
Do you think I could break it with a ranged hit?
Do we want to break it, or would we try to disable it?
I'm not sure how we can get close enough to do either, if I'm being honest.
We need to cover it, I think.
Hmm.
If we can
Would it
get
help
it.
would it help if I divine dynamoed? Like
It might
know,
help,
would
but
that help?
it might damage you. That's the problem.
Yeah. I can shield of faith and then divine dynamo. I don't know.
I could
So,
shatter the ground.
so you said that the orb is on the ground, correct, Cal?
Oh, what'd you do to my poor sweet tornado?
I was trying to move it around, and it's all in different pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to like
Mouse over all of it, but yes, the orb is on the ground, and from your perception as well, you can see that instead of like dust being flown around the center of the vortex where the orb is, you can just see a little ball, like almost like a small indentation of a ball rolling through the ground.
Hmm.
So if you break the ground, maybe you could stop it, like you said.
I could shatter the ground.
Can I?
And if the little ball gets stuck, maybe?
I like it. It's better than what I can do.
Yeah, I can't do shit. It's all up to the wizards and the sorcerers.
A creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on a saving throw. Creature takes 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save. I'm not looking necessarily to do damage. It's more like doing damage to the ground.
Hmm.
I suppose if you did enough damage, it would have
What
an impact.
about shatter?
That's
Which
what
one
I
of
was
you guys
just
has
reading.
Shatter?
I have shatter.
Well, it creates difficult terrain in the past, so it does something to the ground.
I was thinking I could use this scroll of erupting earth.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. What
It'll
does that
create
do
a
exactly?
churned earth and stone that erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on the point. So it doesn't look like it'll cover it, but it'll like push it up.
Interesting.
Hmm.
In that case, if it's moving, it would just come right back down.
I mean, the ground that comes up stays there. It has to be cleared manually.
With that natty 20 perception, can we see the path that this thing took? Like, as in, where did it start?
You can see the path that it took, but you can't quite see where it started because it started so far back down the Kendrill path.
Well, maybe while they're trying to figure out a magic, like something magical to do about this, maybe me and Boris can fly, make wide berth around, and follow the path,
Yeah, can we go the
and
way?
see if there's still people there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
So you two are moving down towards the southern end of the long road to about here.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're gonna try and find the path that it took, follow it back, and see if there's anybody there.
Okay, so clarify for me, Hira. You are looking for the path that it took, right?
Yes, not that it's going to go to.
Boris, are you looking for the path that it is taking or the path that it took?
The path that it took, and I would like to specifically look for people that look out of place.
Okay. So
I'd like to be kind of lower, like
Yeah, so we would be like coming probably around the north. Yeah, to come
Yeah,
around
yeah,
and go this
yeah.
way.
okay.
my intent was to look and see anyone that would look, oh, I don't know, windbendery. That would have the appearance of someone who might be able to control the wind of some sort. That has that kind of face that, just screams, I want an axe between my eyes. Before they get to answer their questions. That, just the kind of person I'm looking for.
Okay. Perfect. And at this point, Torin and Adram are trying... What?
I am trying to rack my brain to figure out if I can either displace that orb or get close enough to it to grab it. See if I can do anything from that. That's probably dangerous.
Does
Intelligence, if you
do
want
you
to try
have
to
mage
figure that
hand?
out.
Hmm.
Do you have mage hand? Torn?
Not currently, no. I know, what a wizard.
I think Wubba had mage hand. Damn it, Wubba.
He did.
Like,
So
Because I don't think mage hand can get damaged.
So Hira and Boris, as you make this kind of long sweeping path around this twister, and you kind of lock into the path that it had taken down the Caldera path, it seems to have rolled specifically down the center of the road. So most of the citizens that were in the street have already evacuated to a point or to well outside of the area. And you can see that with footsteps, with the damage to the buildings. You can see that it's mainly towards the inside of where the twister would be actually hitting. As for anyone to have started this, Boris, if you're looking for this specifically, I'd like an investigation check from you. For Torin, with your intelligence, you know that although excessively dangerous, you can disrupt this spell by breaking the orb.
Ah, damn it.
Dude, get here back. She'll fucking do it.
I can Eldritch Blast it.
And so, real quick with Boris and your investigation, you're kind of focusing more on this path, so you're able to find the start of the orb roll about here.
Okay.
And you find 4 sets of diverging footprints, both going south, or 2 going south, 2 going north.
Interesting. We should take note of this.
Yeah.
Mr. DM,
Yes,
I have a bad idea.
you have a bad
Oh, no.
idea.
How difficult would it be for myself to get at least 30 feet close to that twister?
All right.
Taking damage, sure.
Are you on the hippogriff or are you dismounting?
Currently, I'm on it. I'm sure it'd be easier with the hippogriff, but it won't.
I would like to add something to that. I would like to tie a rope around my waist and tie it around Torrens so he can get 30 and I'd stand 15 feet from him, giving him some anchor.
If you guys wanted to do that, I should have Divine Dynamo, and then I could be your anchor.
We're figuring this out as we go, Hira.
Big brains are thinking.
Too bad we are split up now.
It's all right. It's all right. You guys find survivors and who did this and smash some brain.
So Boris,
stop.
I think we should pick a direction.
Because if I can get close
I don't
enough,
think we should split up again because we're already
I don't
split
think
from
we
the
should.
rest of the
We're
group.
already split. Which way do you think that we should go? We came from the south?
We came
Where
from
do you
the
think they would have come?
Say
we
your
came
idea,
from
Eric.
the west.
We came from the west? Okay.
You guys
Like-
figure out directions in the chat. We'll talk.
Okay.
If I can get close enough to it, I can Misty Step to the orb
And grab it.
and grab it. Even if it flings me up, I can always feather fall.
But we have to destroy it, right? That's the problem.
Well,
Oh
Maybe.
my gosh. Oh my
But-
gosh.
dude.
Keegith, I have a worse idea. What if I hand my chest to our boy Torin here, and he puts the ball inside the chest and closes it?
You have a good idea that would absolutely destroy your inventory.
What if I dumped it all the inventory, including the dead body?
Then it has the chance of being swept away in the wind that is currently blowing.
Okay, well, how about the anchoring thing and him misty stepping? Because you misty stepping would get you out of the rope anyways, so it's just enough to anchor you to not get sucked into misty step.
Yeah. The only problem is what happens when I, get right in the middle of it. I don't know if it
What
has
if-
like an eye.
What if you threw it straight up and we could blast it? What if we
I
just
could hold it
targeted
steady.
it from a distance, me and you?
I could hold it and fireball it. I could do all kinds of stuff.
Do you have heat metal?
No, I do not have heat metal.
Dang it.
So, based off of my Arcana check, I don't have any realistic way to try and disable this thing, huh?
Other than smashing it in some way.
Yeah.
So I can cast, if we're going to attack it, I can cast True Strike on it, which gives me advantage on my next roll. And then I could hit it with 2 Eldritch Blasts. 1 with advantage.
Are those affected by wind?
They
Curious.
shouldn't be.
They could be. And Hira, you would know your shield of faith. Once Boris gets outside of 60 feet, it is useless.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
sure.
Okay. Shit, I'm trying to figure out what I can cast on him then.
Says a beam of crackling energy streaks towards a creature within range. That's pretty much all it says. It's force damage, so I think that would technically not be dissipated by wind.
Oh my god. Hold
Depends on your DM, because you are hurling a spell in a vortex.
Well, in that case, I can just cast Magic Missile at it, assuming it's targetable.
Well, I guess the DM would need to tell us if spells are going to be affected.
Well,
'Cause
hold on.
in that case, anything can.
Let me just test it out. I'm gonna toss just a firebolt at the twister.
Okay. So roll to hit. And Hira, to answer your question, splitting up at this point is up to you guys as a DM, just to make the brevity shorter or easier. It would be easier if you stayed together, but that's your decision. With your firebolts, Torin, you cast into the vortex towards the orb moving through the ground, and it gets 2 feet away from it, and then just the flame evaporates into the vortex above, and you can kind of see the vapors of flame kind of spiral up through the vortex, leaving no damage.
How high is this tornado up into the sky?
It is reaching to the sky at the moment.
Before we could see it at the clouds, so pretty damn tall.
I could YOLO it, and if I die, I die.
So
Can you Misty Step and then Misty Step? Like 2 times?
I could, but the problem is it's a bonus action.
Well, we're not in combat technically.
I'll leave using multiple bonus actions in a row up to the DM.
So, with you not being in actual combat, I'll say you can use them. I'm just going to space them out just a little bit in the actual storyline.
I got you.
So it's not like one after another.
Okay, hold on. What if?
So, while you guys decide this,
I think I have an idea.
Hira goes south. Boris goes north. So both of you make investigation checks.
Sorry, I was looking at my fighting maneuver, so tactical assessment with investigation. Let's go.
There it goes. So, Hira, with your investigation, you end up kind of. Let's see, where is Hira? I can't see you on the map. Because you're underneath one of the DM tokens. Okay.
Oh shit.
So you make your way to about here, and you can see the southern quarry of Red Larch, kind of off into the distance. And this is where the trail just stops for you. Just stops. With Boris, you're able to make it well around the northern quarry, marble quarry of Red Larch, and able to follow a trail that seems to kind of move northeastern from where you are right now. It's up to you guys if you decide to follow even further.
I would. Yeah, I was gonna go further.
Yeah, this goes.
All right.
I'm sure the wizarding people have the things under control, and the nice paladin lady has the thing under control.
I wish we had fucking message or some shit. I wish we. No, they don't know where we're going or what we're doing. We don't know what they're doing.
So I'll need another investigation checks from both of you, if you're continuing further. Torin and Adram, what are we doing?
So I could hex it, which is a curse, which doesn't travel. It's just placed on the target. And because I have maddening hex for a bonus action, I can do 5 damage to it. Each bonus action. And then if you let me try, if 5 damage doesn't kill it, let me try to True Strike Eldritch Blast it, because it's force damage and maybe wouldn't be put out by fire. Or sorry, put out by wind like firewood.
Okay.
So
thank you
I'm
for
gonna hex
linking
it.
that. Go ahead, Adram. I'm listening.
So I'm gonna hex it.
Okay.
And so it's just I place a curse on my. Well, okay. It says a creature. Is this considered a creature?
No.
Then like none of our spells will work. Because all it says is creature. All of our spells say creature.
Well, you can still target something, but there are certain things.
Eldritch Blast says crackling energy towards a creature within range.
Okay.
All of my spells are creature based.
So I'll make this as a DM ruling. Something like your hex, then that's going to be something that it has to be like a living fucking creature. But for your Eldritch Blast, if you want to throw that at a door, if you want to throw that at a barrel, if you want to throw that as a rolling orb across the ground, because that has a hit die, it can hit.
Okay.
Now, what is the superiority dice, though?
I'm trying to figure that out right now, actually.
So he should, as a a fighter, he should have a separate pool of superiority dice.
Yes, he does, but what is the dice? Is it a D6 or a D8?
It should be in his
It's a
description.
then it's a D8. So you get an extra D8 to one of these things that you do if you call superiority.
If I call superiority.
Yeah,
If I
so
was gonna call, like, oh, I'm gonna do a superiority investigation, I'd get to add a D8 to the
You're-
roll.
yeah,
You
you're
said do that at the time. Okay.
yeah, and then if
Yeah.
you're doing it for an attack, then you add an additional D8 to the damage.
That's what I thought how that worked with the damage. I never used it for this, where it was actually to use it as another form of roll. Okay, that's cool.
Does a 19 hit?
Oh yeah, 40.
So your
I got
and so
advantage because of True Strike.
and so what I think that means, Boris, is like you can use a single D8 for
Yeah.
each one of those rolls 4 times a day.
Okay, yeah. That's what it looks like here. Oh, and then you get a short rest and you get them back. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
And so with your 19,
Mhm.
when you unleash your Eldritch Blast into the vortex, it gets about 5 or 6 feet away from the orb and then evaporates into the vortex. With let's see, going back to Hira and Boris's investigations, Boris, you kind of lose the trail up towards the northern edges of Red Larch. Hira, you're able to pick up the trail again and lead you down to this little clearing down here. And that's where you find 4 sets of human tracks and a grand total of 4 sets of animal tracks that disappear.
Oh, fuck?
They flew.
Yeah. I wonder if they have hippogriffs too. What just happened?
You rolled to
Oh,
hit.
you clicked
I was wondering why it was like pink and clickable.
because I'm of course you get a freaking 20. I'm using the add-on from D&D Beyond.
Oh, the pink clickable things would be, well, if we were to click,
Damage.
that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to cast Shatter, there's your damage. You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't think Keegith would allow that. So
What is
the way-
Torn and Adram
the
are
way
thinking
this
about?
reads, Keegith, a creature takes thunder damage on a failed save or half as much, blah, 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 blah. And then it says a non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes the damage if it's in the spell's area. So I'm assuming this is a magical object. Or is it reading a non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried?
You would be safe to assume that this would be or from the information that Torin has provided, you have learned, and Hira has learned that this is kind of a magical item.
Okay, I'm going to look at Torin and say, Red Larch is doomed. Let's go find the others. There's nothing we can do.
Nothing that we've thought of so far.
Unless we
Well,
get Hira back here to Dynamo,
I could definitely do that
but
if you
she's
find me.
which makes her chunky. So hopefully she won't be lifted up by
I'm also wearing plate
tornado.
armor, so I might not get as hurt.
This is going to be like spell damage. It's going to go through that armor.
Y'all did. As the DM intervening, there was one idea that was really great for this. That you and Adram and Torin discussed.
Was it the
The mist-
rope?
It's a misty step.
Yeah,
What's Misty
probably.
Step?
It's a teleport.
Fucking do it.
Yeah, but where are you going? What are you going to teleport? What are you going to do?
I'm gonna teleport right on top of it.
And then do what?
Hopefully, grab it.
And then do what? You're
See if
holding
I
a
can-
tornado in your hands.
Yeah. Uh,
Maybe if he's close enough, he can actually destroy it with like his fire.
You can always give it a try.
Can you misty step with somebody?
hopefully-
If not, what a fucking legend. Woo!
Yeah, honestly.
That's how he goes.
Can you hug me and we misty step together?
It's a self person only, or a self spell.
Torrent's about to die a
Do you
legend.
do you have to check anything or is it just a spell?
It's just it's a bonus action. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Okay,
just
well,
want to-
I'm going to cast guidance on you for when you do any attack once you misty step. In case you need guidance.
So you get an extra D4.
Right now, I'm imagining a Drom just like putting his hand on Torn's shoulder and being like,
You got this.
All right, Kyle. I need to get 30 feet from that.
I'm
orb.
gonna tie the rope. I'm gonna be your anchor, my friend.
Thank you.
hug a tree,
I'm
Kix,
not-
hug a tree.
I'm gonna hope no one gets bisected by a rope.
So you get 30 feet,
Oh jeez.
and I need Torin to make me a strength save at advantage. Because he is...
Being assisted by me.
Yes.
Well,
Don't you have to roll with
there's your
advantage?
guidance.
On so guidance is a D4, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is an additional D4.
All right. And how do I roll with guidance on D&D Beyond?
So...
Or not with guidance, with advantage.
There should
Click
be...
that.
Oh, good.
I got you, fam.
Well, that's the guidance, and then there should be a button in D&D Beyond above everything.
Oh, how do you do advantage? If you
Uh-huh.
hold down shift,
Ah, I see.
hover over it should be a, and control is negative, so it'd be disadvantage.
Very nice. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
18.
All right, so roll a D4.
He did. That's
I
with
It was a 1.
Oh, okay.
that
So-
advantage definitely stopped the natty one though.
18
Thank you.
18 is enough with assistance that you're able to keep your feet firm on the ground as you make your way 25 feet away from this orb moving through Red Larch.
All right. Verbal component, Misty Step. Please don't fuck up.
Okay. Is there
That
any
gets me-
I'm sorry, I was just going to ask, is there anything that you have to do for Misty Step?
It's just a verbal. As long as the space is unoccupied that I can see, I am on it.
Okay. So you immediately occupy the space next to the orb inside of this vortex, and you feel yourself being pulled vertically. What do you do?
I'd like to try as quickly as I can to reach down and grab that orb.
So make me a dexterity check.
Okay, the check, not the save.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
So with the situation, it is rather, or with how large the orb is, it's rather easy. So you're able to scoop the orb up into your hands in the very moment that you and now a drum leave the ground and are both hurled a grand total of 125 feet up into the air. And you are currently holding the orb in your hands, tethered to a rope, looking at a drum 120 feet in the air.
Oh
All
no!
right, here we
Where are the
fucking
griffins?
go. And how far is the drum away from me?
The rope was a or probably about 30 feet. If it was a 50-foot rope, you probably tied about 10 feet around each of you, so it was about a 30 feet span between the two of you, and it is taut.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Featherfall.
I'm obviously below him.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those weird free falling things, man.
So he's
break this
still
fucking orb?
hold on. So he's still holding this orb that still has a tornado coming out of it.
As soon as it leaves the ground, or as soon as y'all all leave the ground, the twister evaporates. And he is just left holding an orb, and you two are essentially about to start free falling at 120 feet of the ground.
Nice.
Okay, so he casts Featherfall on himself.
It's actually up to 5 people that are willing within range, which is 60 feet.
He's
So
got
you-
you,
Oh,
kid.
you guys are lucky.
See, I've got the big brain.
Yeah, so the good thing we left
The
the smart
biggest-
ones to deal with the tornado. Hera's idea was to divine dynamo and then suicide dive on top of it, like army guys do on bombs. She was gonna do that.
Does that Featherfall work, Keegith, or no?
I would
It
hope-
absolutely works. As both of you are kind of suspended in the air for a moment, Torin, quickly thinking, whips out a feather from his spell component pouches and casts a small incantation on it, and both of you just feel slightly lighter.
It's pretty nice up here, isn't it, a drum?
I can't believe that worked.
Ah, just look at this view. You don't get to see this very often.
Did you guys get to see me and Boris in the distance?
So yeah,
Are you
you
up
both
there?
can. You both, like, from where you guys are, you can see both Hera and Boris in the distance, kind of just searching aimlessly.
Nice.
You're like, wow, fucking useless ass.
Should we throw the orb down and have it break on impact?
Oh, absolutely not. I think I've earned this.
What if it touches the ground again and it turns into a tornado again?
I will deal with it.
Okay, so
Well,
we're just
someone had to place it down originally, and I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure they didn't die.
They
true.
will,
True.
though. They
I
will.
mean, they might have. They will.
They're going to.
The real reason Torin was willing to sacrifice himself for this, because he wanted the orb for himself.
Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. If I was a wizard, I'd be like, hell yeah. Magic orb that makes a tornado, it's mine.
Abso-fucking-lutely. No, I say we hold on to this, Adram. You never know when a pocket tornado might come in handy.
The chaos.
Sounds good. How big is
Release
the ball?
Release it into the Scarlet Monastery. Can you imagine?
We can get rid of that fire in the in that thing by dropping that tornado in there.
I don't see the point in that at this point.
All right, so we're slowly floating down.
Yeah, he did have a
Tornado.
good point. How big is that, the orb?
So it's about the size of a basketball for us.
Mhm. Okay.
And it's completely clear.
It's a wind drift globe. A wind globe. We can put it in the chest if you can't hold it on your person. The
So-
magical chest.
Mm,
Should we just, Keegan, should we just make for reasons, just make the chest just a bag of holding instead? Or
I
do you wanna
mean,
keep it as,
It's already technically a bag. It's a 5th edition large bag of holding. It's a chest of holding, essentially.
okay.
But
Okay. I don't want to screw up anything if we should leave the chest somewhere or whatever.
nah, it's fine.
Mr. DM,
Yes.
I know that we probably want to catch up, at least attempt to find Boris and Hera. But could I attempt to identify on this thing while I'm holding it?
Yes.
Perfect.
Is it a spell for you? Because it's a ritual for me. I can do it for free.
It's a ritual for him as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I don't have a pearl either, so I can't cast it. Oops.
You would have a pearl by now.
Okay. easy for me. Then I will use that and my owl feather and attempt to identify.
So, with your identify, as you guys are kind of free floating down and easily land down onto the ground, as your feet touch, you like, oh, this is an orb of devastation. It was just made with the wind element instead of the earth element that you've been so used to creating earthquakes. It seems like other people can do the same spell but create different disasters.
Interesting. Is it reusable? Or is this kind of a one and done kind of magic item?
You know from your experience with the Cult of the Black Earth that once this orb is created, once the proper amount of once the proper ritual has been used on it, it can be used again.
Ooh. So technically just essentially has to be recharged.
Yeah, it's just right now it's a glass orb.
Interesting. I wonder if it has anything to do with the rituals of destruction. Well, I'll keep it with me until we figure it out.
I'm going to climb back on the griffin and find our other friends.
I'll follow.
I'm still on my griffin, right?
You're still flying around, I thought.
Yeah, I would assume that you would have stayed off. However, with Boris, I'm not sure if you would have dismounted to get close to the tracks or not.
Yeah, I figured I'd be on the ground looking at him.
At this point, I'd have dismounted too, because remember I found the tracks that disappeared in the thin air.
Okay, so Torin and Adram are able to take off easily from their newfound hippogriffs, and Torin moves off to the north, and you're able to find Boris kind of leisurely kind of looking around aimlessly, and Adram is able to find Hira to the south.
I'm gonna immediately be like, Adram, help me look. I found these tracks here from where the orb was put down, but they seem to have disappeared.
We managed to quell the tornado.
Good. I'm glad. How'd you manage that?
I'm gonna start fixing my hair that just got windswept. I'm like, I'll tell you the story later.
Help me look.
Let me get close to Boris, pull out the orb and say, Boris, look what I got.
Whoa.
Is that the tornado, dude?
Good grab. I found some footprints. I found a path leading here, and I lost sight of it. Might need some backup. See a fresh set of eyes. See if you can see what I was seeing. Maybe do a better job, or help me figure out what I missed. But
I can try.
There was a path leading here. There were people, and I suspect going to the north might be the way we should go.
Keegith, I'm investigating, and I have a survival as well, 24 and 22. Do I see anything from those footprints of what it could be or where it could be?
So, just because I'm a butthole, I'm only going to take your survival.
That's fine. I didn't know exactly what you would have wanted me to roll, so I rolled both.
And then, Torin, if you want to roll something as well, go for it. To help Boris.
Like what? Investigation, survival?
I will let investigation or survival will work in this situation.
Oh, you let him use one earlier.
Well, because he asked before he rolled.
I'm kidding. Well,
I rolled the investigation first, to be fair.
It doesn't matter. I'm just
being a sassy butthole. So
listen, I want Keegith that loves me, not Mayo that's mad that I killed his father in front of him.
sorry.
whole nother thing.
All you're gonna get is the angsty motherfucker that knows you killed my parents. It's fine.
I didn't know it was your dad. I'm sorry. Other than the fact you said dad and you ran and hugged him.
And then you stabbed him.
And then you stabbed him.
Oh,
Listen.
Tom doesn't know about this.
Tom, in
We'll
my
we'll have to
defense,
wait.
I
We'll have to
basically
wait.
Turned into an angry dragon thing. We won't get into it right now.
We'll tell
but-
you later.
Yeah.
Tell me
So-
about it, yeah.
So
Um,
22 survival.
So
You
with
butthole.
Torin's investigation, you're able to slightly pick up on the tracks that Boris kind of left off on, and you recognize these tracks ending as large animal tracks, seeming to take off in flight. Now, Adram, with your survival check, you notice the same thing. Hira's tracks seem to stop when a large bipedal creature, or I'm sorry, a quadpedal creature takes off in flight.
Question. So we didn't see any flying creatures when we were approaching?
Approaching Red Larch?
Yeah. Like, wouldn't we have seen some figures? Even if we couldn't tell what they were?
At this point, no. It was nothing. It was a large wind. What's up,
There was a large tornado that was probably blocking some view.
Torin?
Does my hippogriff's feet match the tracks?
They're very similar.
I told you I was sus of that bitch.
That
Yeah.
handsome bastard.
Should have killed him on the spot. Just to kind of
Boris.
should have killed him out of principle on the spot. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Being an elf and all. I understand.
Well,
Yeah.
first we have to find the others. It seems there's nothing else to find here, so I think we should go back, start headed north and look for Boris. We're gonna mount up on my hippogriff and fly over up north.
If I had half a mind, I'd look for those iridescent feathers. This is bullshit.
This is
What's
why
your-
you're the wizard of the group.
What was
'Cause you
your
have the intelligence.
survival was 22? You did find a feather, a drum,
We picked it up. We're taking it for evidence, dude.
but it was not iridescent.
Mm.
You guys shouldn't be so quick to get angry at people, especially if they gave to us what would seem priceless animals to get here to save the town.
Alone, if I remember right.
Yes, true, but this is not his business. It's adventurers like us that gets basketball storms.
Basketball storms.
Basketball storms. Hot diggity dog.
I'm gonna be like, hey, what did you guys find?
Well, I have this, my orb, in addition to these very similar looking footprints. I'll point to the footprints and into the feet of my hippogriff.
Yeah, I followed 4 tracks of human prints south, and then it looks like they took off on some aerial mounts, and we found a feather.
I'm going to hold up the feather, which isn't iridescent.
Ah, the gears are turning.
I think no matter what, though, we should definitely, keep our promise and head over to I forget what the fucking place was called.
Feather Glade.
Feather
Gale.
Gale.
Feather Gale.
Feather Gale.
You
I-
drunk.
It's on
You
them.
drunkard.
You know what, you motherfuckers? Don't judge me and my Irish liver.
I think
Just
we should
think
head
of
to
it like
Feather
this.
Gale.
It's Feather G Ale, and now you'll remember it. You drunk.
And we can.
Oh,
we can
yeah,
ask them
that's
about
right.
it if they know what creature this may have come from.
Yeah.
I would suggest don't be overly aggressive,
I
but
don't
definitely
plan
be
on it.
definitely be cautious. I'm gonna be definitely looking at Hira.
Hira, not overly aggressive? What?
Yeah.
I don't-
Listen, she's literally having a midlife crisis.
Yes, and that's what I'm telling her, because I am basically her Jiminy Cricket. Take it easy.
Okay. So what are we doing?
Feather Gale Spire.
We are.
Honoring our promise.
Well, I would say we would probably check in with the townspeople first and be like, "Is everyone okay?" And then we'd go. It's not like we just
Is that a
dip.
is that a group consensus that you want to check in with everybody before you leave, or do you want to dart?
Yeah,
Maybe not everybody, but like the sheriff
anyone who
or
didn't
whoever.
evacuate.
So it takes you, by the end of the events of ending the twister and searching for your tracks, it's gotten to just about dusk. The sun is still above you, and there's still warmth coming from it. However, you do know that night is coming very quickly. And by the end of your questioning of, some of the people that still remain, that are just kind of out in the streets assessing the damage of the twister, you gather that there were two strange individuals that traveled through town and spoke to Calissa from the Swinging Sword. However, didn't book a room, didn't order any drinks, just kind of asked a few questions and then left.
What kind of questions?
If you're asking Calissa specifically, she's a little frazzled at the moment, trying to put or rummage through the wreckage of the store. But she's able to say that they were cloaked figures. And they had a very weird marking on the back of their cloak.
Can I pull out like the drawing we have? Can I point at the air one and be like, is it this one? Or do any of these symbols look familiar?
She kind of pauses for a moment. And she looks at the one at the very top. The one in the center. The purple triangle. Or purple diamond, if I remember right.
Yeah. It's like a purple, yes, oval.
That was it. That was what was on the hoods.
I'm gonna thank her for her help, and I'm gonna wish her well in helping, in the rest of the town.
She's gonna smile and offer once again offer room and board to all of you, and gives or before you leave, she kind of stumbles a bit and like, oh, I almost forgot. When you see Mr. Kenai again, please tell him that his plans have not been set back from the storm.
I'm gonna look confused, but I'll agree to relay the message.
And so, as you leave and you make your way back to the party, you can all make perception again.
Oh shit!
Boris,
Got him.
I'm gonna guidance myself.
I thought that was your actual roll, and I was like, nice.
Good thing I did that.
No.
14.
So, Hira and Boris, you're the only ones that are able to notice this. But as you're kind of making your investigations through the town, you start noticing 1, 2, 5, 11 total of these strange hooded figures kind of roaming through town. And as dusk begins to set on Red Larch and the town begins to move into the tavern for the evening festivities and, go to bed, these 7 individuals that you've noticed throughout your investigation begin moving their way north up the Larch path
I'm going
into the
to relay
Sumber
this
Hills.
information to the others quietly, and I'm going to suggest that we try and follow them.
Hey, Boris, I think you were right.
I think we need to get these robes. And if there's 7 of them, 4 of us, kill 4 of them, put on the robes.
I'm
Probably
saying we track them quietly for now and see where they're headed before we attack them.
Are they all together in our formation? Are they all together? Are they split up in groups, or what is?
So, as you begin trailing them, if this is what you guys wish to do, as you begin trailing them, I'll say, for the story-wise, the 4 of you are all in kind of different places of the town, and each of you notice like 1 or 2 of these, and because of what Kalissa said, you hone in on them and you begin following them, and then eventually towards the Larch path, you converge with your party members as the 11 of them converge themselves and outside of town and begin making their way down the Larch path.
I was gonna say the soonest opportunity within town. I was gonna take one down to Pound Town. If it was if there was any sign of no one looking or any dark side street that I could cleave a skull real quick and take a robe. That was kind of my plan. Just
okay.
A quick beat. I don't trust these guys. I'm taking a head. I'm taking a robe. Is how I'm seeing it.
So,
do I see people around? Are there a lot of people out because there was the tornado going through, or?
There are quite a few people out and about right now, so they kind of mix into the crowd. So from your own experience, it would not be a good idea to kind of...
That'd be the best of time to just openly slice someone's head off with an axe.
Right.
Okay.
How...
There goes my whole plan.
So...
I will meet up with the friends and we will continue on our way with a gentle trailing of them, if that works. Otherwise, I was planning to take one out.
So, let me...
That does seem to be the better option.
Sorry, I got a whole bunch of shit in here. Creatures, monsters...
I think we might want to leave it at trailing them, though, because I have class in the morning.
Okay.
Yes. That is where we are going to leave it for the evening. However, I will say, just to end it, about a good hour into trailing them, after everything gets kind of dark, you start noticing the hooded figures begin making camp about 5 or 6 miles outside of town. And so if you guys would like to, you can either make camp out of sight of them or make your way closer. I will let that decision be made next session.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Easy peasy.
Cool.
Sorry that I was a little rough coming back to D&D.
I
You
think
did
were
fine.
Dude, thank you.
I'm sorry there wasn't more action, more head
No, no.
cleaving for you.
Oh,
It's a
no,
building
okay.
experience, guys. I mean,
it can't be all head cleaving.
yeah, because I mean, truthfully, if we're really thinking about it, y'all did just come out of an entire fucking three and a half sessions of head cleaving.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Tom. You literally just missed like several sessions in a row of head cleaving. So
Oh, jeez.
So next session, we'll see where it goes.
okay.
This is really
Cool.
cool. Roll 20s. Awesome, man. Wow.
It was nice to finally have a session after like 3 weeks or a month or maybe longer. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's been like 10 years since I've played, so.
Talk about a dry spell.
It was 3 weeks since our last session, but then it was a couple weeks before that.
I think that maybe we should have like a backup night for emergencies. If that's possible. Like if everybody's schedules allow it.
My schedule is pretty booked. Got raid Tuesday, Thursday. Got another D&D thing every other Wednesday. And then the weekends are for the family.
Gotcha.
And just for
You don't need me, technically.
personal knowledge, I am in the process of staging a coup within my work establishment.
Sick.
Um,
I hope it works out.
So,
Where do you work again?
it is an undisclosed delivery location, and I am on stream at the moment, so I don't want to say anything too much. And
she's in it, Keegan. Don't answer those questions.
No, I was just wondering if you worked in like food service or
it is
retail
food
or
service. It is specifically like food delivery service.
what? Okay.
And personally,
Schwans.
my manager is a wonderful person. He is a nice man, but he is not qualified for food service management, and I know I could do better. So
How much? I would like to make a bet that he's been there forever, so that's why they promoted him, but has zero managing skills whatsoever.
No, actually. He was a former scheduling manager for the Department of Health in a state adjacent to us. And so he has a lot of management ability, but not in actual food service. And that's where I have a whole bunch of
You need to be special to work in food service. I cooked for 15 years, and it came to the point where in 3 separate restaurants now, my part of my job was to get rid of people that they didn't want to fire because they didn't want to give them unemployment.
Mhm.
So I would break their balls until they quit. And on one occasion, it was someone who had lied on his application and got a manager position, and turned out he hadn't. They didn't want to fire him because they didn't want to give him unemployment. So we just ruined that guy's life in the kitchen. And then, if it was someone who just couldn't keep up, it was always just break their balls and ruin them until they left on their own. There was one restaurant we used to take Polaroids of people as they'd walk out the door crying. We had a wall of shame.
Yeah, I know that feeling. But yeah, it's pathetic. Like, just to put it in perspective, like, I'm the base employee. I'll say that. A base employee, and I'm already working 65 hours a week to maintain this store.
Jeez.
Mainly because the manager that they have above me, like I said, has a lot of management experience, but no food management experience. So
it's a whole different world.
Exactly. And then to add on to insult to injury, I have another manager above me that doesn't give a fuck. And he's the owner of the franchise's son. And he doesn't give a fuck. So it's like pulling teeth to get anything to happen there. And then we have another manager that's the son of my former manager. And this man, I swear to you, thinks he's a God's gift to Earth. Ugh.
I didn't know it was possible. It sounds like there's inbreeding in the restaurant business.
Wait, Kyle, you mean Thumb?
Yes. Thumb's son. He is a manager.
Kidding me.
An 18-year-old as a manager.
Oh, that's
That's
terrible.
Wow,
So-
nepotism at its
fuck?
best, right there.
I know him. How the fuck did that happen?
Oh, because he knows how to suck the district manager's dick.
Not just that, it sounds like he knows how to fondle the balls. Jesus Christ.
And, and really the bad part is that I've got the fucking phone number for this area supervisor. And I've been, over the last month and a half, I've been letting him know of all of the fucking little slip ups, all of the little issues. And just every single time, just like, this could be fixed. This problem wouldn't happen if you just promote me.
Oh,
But the downside of that is that I lose money because I make more money at the current position that I'm in because I'm a tipped employee rather than a salaried employee. So that's the dilemma. Do I lose money, increase in responsibility, and prove the fact that I'm, worth a crap? Or do I continue going down the path that I'm in and enjoy free time and just let the store crumble around me?
The second
It's kind of,
option.
yeah, I was gonna say the second option. I don't think you care that much about the store, do you?
No, he
I'm-
does.
I've been with this company for 8 years. I care. A
I
lot.
was with my old restaurant. I was with my old restaurant for about that long. So
Yeah, that was the entire reason. Like, the entire reason I'm in the position that I'm in is because I was a former general manager and I realized that it was bullshit. So I stepped down. And the area supervisor was like, "You know too much about this company. Please stay with us and go train the new employees that are coming through the new store that we're opening up." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll probably be there for like 6 months." 4 years fucking later, I'm still there.
Oh God. R.I.P.
I did quit smoking though.
That's good.
Excellent job.
All right.
Kyle.
Well, I gotta go. I have to watch a lecture real quick and then head to bed.
Everyone have a great night. Thanks for
Yeah.
the
yeah,
fun.
thank
Thanks
you
for the
guys.
session.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
guys.
I'll still be here if you guys want to chat.
I was saying I even got the player's handbook and probably
Hell
gonna
fucking
do
yeah.
some
You'll use it. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is cool. I've been sitting around reading. I hadn't read anything since like third edition. Oh, I bought the fourth edition handbook when that came out because my cousin and I were gonna play, and we were both looking through, and we're like, fourth edition looks kind of fucking dumb. And then, so I'm glad we didn't get into that, and we were both still like 3.5 is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that fifth edition, it's like he was telling me about all the videos he was watching, and then you guys were playing, and I was watching a bunch of videos, and I was like, well, fuck it, fifth edition sounds pretty cool. And I'm like, oh, fifth edition's all in Forgotten Realms. Hell yeah! Like, this is the edition I've been waiting for. Like this is like a pretty cool version of D&D. So, and then seeing Roll20, like being able to have all of our character sheets and share the information, all that's really cool.
Super useful.
Yeah, seems like a much smoother way to play the game than sitting around the table together.
Sometimes I'll say that it's a useful tool even for whenever you're sitting around the table, because in my live sessions for Sundays, I still have the Curse of Strahd map and all that kind of good stuff. And what I do is I just bring my laptop and pipe it up onto another screen. So that way all my players can see the map, but all of their character sheets are on their phone on D&D Beyond.
Yeah. Well, like that's why when you mentioned it before, I was like, oh, I have a character I made on here before, and it was because my cousin and I originally were like, oh, we'll use, like, we were looking at this, we were looking at Roll20, we were looking at the D&D Beyond to be able to like have all of our character sheets on a computer and just be able to be like, oh, hey, here we are, here they all are. We can print them up if we need to, and then being able to have like all the books and like what you have with the resource book for this. It's like, that's awesome, though. That's a real cool setup.
If you like One program that Eric actually recommended to me at one point when we were doing 3.5, because you mentioned 3.5.
Yeah,
Um,
good.
it's called PC Generator or PC Gen, and
Yeah, I think I know of that one.
yeah, like that's what I use to create all of my 3.5 create or character sheets, mainly just because it has a huge repertoire of
Yeah.
information of what you, and it makes it in a very like streamlined, it gives you little bullets of you forgot to put this, you forgot to put this, so you need to do this, and it makes life a little bit easier for 3.5. Like I don't know if you ever watched Gamma's gameplay of Rise of the Rune Lords, but Bodkrin, the character that I played for that, was built completely on PC Gen, and I absolutely love that character. Fuck, I want to play that character, Eric.
I'm happy to be able to play because like the last time, well, no, the last time I played, I was actually a player, but before that, I was playing. I was a DM at a local game store for far too long, and then I played with some friends of mine after that. But yeah, it's been like 10+ years since I've actually been able to play, so it's really super nice to be able to actually get back and so much easier as a player than a DM.
Tell me about it.
I'd be happy to just play and not have to DM again. So
Yeah,
anyway, thank you guys. Have a great night. Thanks.
you as well, Tom.